the Russian operations in the region. We did have a Russian aircraft that was downed last week while we were engaging a MiG-29. Russia has not responded yet in any clear manner, but we do anticipate there to be some response if, when, and where it occurs, and will likely be swift and significant when and if that occurs. For the tactical sit rep tonight, again, we continue to consolidate our positions around Bodo. That area continues to be tenuous as we have not moved heavy armor into the area. So really infantry with some light-skinned vehicles. They do have some indirect fire support and some anti-tank weapons, but definitely not a solid foothold in that position at this time. The destroyer is still in the area, providing air defense cover. But again, we are very vulnerable to ground attack in that area due to the lack of heavy armor. The ODA 6112, again, they are still in the area around Jokmok, continuing to monitor NLF movements and activity in the area. And Wizard last week did collect a significant amount of electronic intelligence about the locations of emitters along the coastline of Norway. So definitely have much better intelligence about what early warning radar and SAM systems are deployed in that area. And finally, CIA assets have reported that Russia has started to provide additional material support to the NLF and did fly in several air defense systems, the most critical of which for tonight being an SA-5 into Andoya. However, based on our current position of operations, that should not be an impact as long as we don't continue too far north tonight, specifically for VF-31. NLF activity on the southern border remains limited, and we have observed that they have withdrawn most of their aircraft further north from Witzel and Jokmok and largely away from the threat area, we believe, to preserve those assets for downstream operations. Finally, we do have very, very limited intelligence on what Russia's intentions are after the shoot down of their aircraft. However, it is highly anticipated that they will be providing additional support to the NLF and could possibly join hostile actions against Task Force Trident forces. But as of now, that has not occurred, but we need to remain vigilant. For our intel analysis tonight, again, we know that the NLF are preparing to counterattack Bodo. We anticipate that they are planning on doing it sometime during the daylight hours because they do have very limited access to night optics and would be very ineffective fighting at night. The primary access of that assault is going to be from Rognan, and there is massed equipment around the city, which we do have synthetic aperture radar photos of that we'll be reviewing later. Again, Russia has flown in several air defenses, the most notable of which being a SA-5 system into Andoya, which we do believe to be active at this time. If there is a Russian response that occurs tonight, it will likely be near Calix due to the proximity to the Russian border. We do assess there to be a low probability of direct Russian support meaning aircraft or Russian ground forces, but there is a high probability that they are providing equipment, material, and intelligence support to the NLF. As we saw last week, the NLF are known to have access to near-peer and peer-level aircraft, which includes captured F-18s. We are operating in a similar area to where we saw those F-18s last week. I would say medium confidence that we could see some more tonight. And that's all I got. Dustin, take it away.
All right, fellas, our tasking for tonight, we got both Felix and Night 1 covering CAP and DCA for respective areas of operation. Objective 80, which is going to be what we call the West Lane, is where Felix will be taking the skies and making sure that any enemy air threats are engaged. The East Lane will be taken up by Night 1. That'll be over by Witzel. Calix area. So just keep that in mind. And Bullseye is actually on Karina. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. As far as the strike taskings that we have going, we have an air interdiction for Objective 81, which Tiger and Knight 2 are going to be striking that counteroffensive buildup at the town of Rognan. There's really three large groups scattered throughout the town that are the targets and will be the focus of that counteroffensive on them. For the Objective 51, that's going to be Ronin. That's going to be basically securing the airfield of Vidsel, which is also going to open up and clear the way for the CH-47 insertions of the 75th Rangers to be rolling in there and seizing that airfield for us to gain some breathing room over by Calix. For weather tonight, we got winds at 184, 3 knots, 10 miles of visibility, broken clouds at 12,000 and 26,000, fuel at 41,000, temp is 3 with a dew point of -3. Altimeter 2947, and our mission step off time is 0400 local. For our nets tonight, we will have, hopefully, if tornadoes don't take them out, we will have our human AWACS tonight. Call sign is Hitman. And then we will operate for the 2 strike areas. Warlord will be Tiger and Knight 2. And strike 1 will be Ronin over at Vidsel. Couple of coordination codes to call out is over at Vidsel. Ronin, you can call Asgard when Vidsel is cleared and should be clear for the forces to move in. There is going to also be a couple of mechanized columns rolling in that are the Nordic forces. More to talk on that in a minute. We also have a secondary strike of trying to quell some of the air defenses at Jokkmokk. So once those are taken out, we should hear Helheim called. Again, AWACS, we got Hitman. Then we also have Wizard 1 along the coast as a backup if necessary. As far as the tankers, all of Texaco is currently grounded tonight. Shell 1 is operating north-south track east of the carrier strike group. As far as the ground forces, again, we got the 75th Ranger Regiment being inserted into LZ Trident once we have command of Vidsel, as well as the 2 Nordic armored mechanized companies moving in from southeast of Vidsel once the border gets cleared out with those checkpoints. For ROE tonight, we're again cleared into NLF territory at discretion and cleared to engage NLF forces at will. The only area that we have green light for cluster munitions is the Rognan AO only. And again, do not enter the Russian airspace. For the launch recovery of the boat, you guys got case 3 tonight. You guys know your frequencies. BRC is a 182, and final bearing is 173. Pretty much standard CATs 1, 2, and 4 in operation. Calix launch and recovery. Again, 10 miles of visibility with clouds. The first cloud layer up at 12,000 should be pretty easy to find your stuff once you're down below the clouds and get in there, whatnot. Again, TACAN is up and running for it, 99 X-ray, and you guys will be using runway 14. For those at Bodo, same thing, except we'll be using runway 7 over there. Same weather, and TACAN of 45 X-ray. Getting into the AOs, this is a snapshot of Vidsel. The center area there, the blue zone, that is where the CH-47s are going to be inserting the 75th Rangers. And then as well as those 2 mechanized columns coming in will be surrounding the airfield. So very important that we get any opposition taken care of to allow them in freely and take that over. For the Jockmock, this kind of goes into what the 10th SFG got for intel for us during the week, actually. Red squares, we got an SA-11 that's sitting out here, as well as an SA-3. And then obviously there's an early warning radar that we are targeting tonight at some point. So, and some IMINT for Jockmock. So it's one of those big, I don't know, SA-15s, Zu-57s, SA-3s. Got a lot of helos on the flight line, but most importantly is that SA-11. Getting into Rognan, going to be using IP Ford as our IP point, flowing into and releasing ordnance onto Objective 81, flowing out towards EP Glock. Looking at this area, there are 3 well-defined areas where we have intel showing where the buildups are. 1, 2, and 3. Looking at those, this is 1. As you can see, there's a really large buildup kind of along this little cove. Little bits of groups scattered throughout, but a big presence of vehicles right here on the southern part of that. Moving on to the second area 2, we can see buildup kind of scattered throughout the area, so we'll probably need to be a little bit more precise with those cluster munitions. So keep that in mind. And then the third area, again, just nice big open field that are very well grouped and can be maintained. The last one here is the AO sectors for the cap assignments. So from Karuna, flowing runway direction heading and southwest is the divider line, with the bullseye being up at Karuna. Everything to the east of the line will be for VFA 154 Knights to cover that airspace, and everything to the west will be for VF 31 Felix to cover. Any questions?
Not a question, but a comment. For night 1 doing cap, I know you guys are covering the forces at Vidsel, but I would be very prepared for anything to come from the east side, sort of Kimi Torino and those air bases over there. If we do see a response from the NLF, it will likely come from that axis versus from the north.
Another thing to throw out here too is if Hitman deems it necessary, he might utilize splitting up Felix and getting Felix to flow over to the east to assist and back up Knight should things get too heavy.
Just to be advised, the group in the south cap is Felix 2, so that's most likely the one to shift, and then Felix 1 would cover their spot. So we basically adjust. So, but Felix 2 is the one you want.
Felix 2, got it. Would it be helpful if Felix 2 were to shift from this zone here to somewhere on the southeast side, just in case?
Yeah, I was just thinking about moving them a little bit more inland, somewhere near what is that, Troves, or just by the MSR Texas area.
Somewhere right here down south?
Yeah, that way they can pivot either way.
Okay. All right. Nobody's got any questions. Good luck tonight, guys. Let's go out there and rock it.
All right, 1's rolling, coming right.
2's rolling. 3's rolling. 4's rolling. 5's rolling. 5.
Cox traffic, running 1, taking active, 1-4, departing to the southeast. And since we're on a time crunch, I'm going to turn and burn. One's lined up left side. And you guys are cleared to hit your checkpoints. Just make sure you deconflict with each other.
Copy, 2 heading to steer point 26. Four. Braking left.
One Speedway. One check, egressing south. One's inbound from the IP, second pass. One's paveway.
One five, returning to IP.
One check.
1-2 arriving at IP, starting right hand orbit.
4 and 5, can you confirm checks on checkpoints?
4 confirmed shack times 2.
Alright, 4, you're going to be lead bird. I want you to go ahead and start pushing towards Vidzil for our JDAM targets.
Copy, 4 pushing waypoint 3.
One's got eyes on target.
2's eyes on target. 4's eyes on target, 1 mic. 30 seconds. Five, 4 away. As long as it was literally just release. Make another pass. 2's RTB fencing out.
One's egressing to the south, just over Fooly Airfield. I'm going to do a quick scan. I got one bomb left, see if there's any stragglers. One's rolling in from the south.
Hey, I found him. I got to deal with RPG.
Say again? If you got eyes on targets down there, go ahead and get in line and drop.
Copy that. Coming in behind you.
One's got one away, T-72, south side.
Rearming or just getting gas for now?
Just get gas for now. And one check. This is running 1 on 270 Asgard, Asgard, Asgard.
5 can confirm. 5's dipping at about a 15-degree down bubble because it's right off the intercept path. Yeah, you're going to be flying under him coming into final.
Oh yeah, I got eyes on him in the TGP.
They're getting fancy now. Airbase is getting bombed. Airbase is getting bombed. That's a good surprise. 2's port landing. 2's port landing.
Yeah, one's got eyes. Push to the west of the airfield. Probably about 30 miles or so.
Two's going to base. We're trying to get out of these artillery that's coming in. 3. Cool.
Four's coming back to Angels 22.
Short 1 any Tiger on 270.
5 climbing back up.
I didn't see any direct hits on the runway, so I don't know if that's changed, but
I got multiple fires just to the left of the runway.
Flight safe fuel state.
24200. 3 4.0.
4 5.0. 5 4.7.
Roger. Start flowing. Let's see. About 300. Let's start heading towards Bodo. I'm gonna drop a waypoint, see about how far it is.
Copy, turn it.
Alright, one pushed mark point, showing about 199 miles from my location.
Copy, 212 miles from me. Getting on the 0 point now, climbing.
One's got eyes on the CH-47s at Vidzul. It looks like they're taking fire from somewhere. And one's going to start descending.
Total traffic 514 with you for 30 miles to the east, looking for the ILS landing runway 25, full stop.
got eyes on E2, just landed the opposite direction.
Shit, are we sure we should be coming in that way, not coming in from the west side?
Winds are out of the south, so technically it should be 2-5. That's just AI. Got eyes on him, just waiting for him to get off the runway.
Okay, no.
Photo traffic running 117 mile final, runway 25.
Photo traffic running 123 miles to the east, 115.
Photo traffic running 15, 35 miles out. Looking for a straight in, landing runway 25.
Photo traffic 111, short final 25. One's wheels now. And one's gonna exit left.
Photo traffic running 13, short final.
Photo traffic running 11, clearly active at Hotel Texan Park.